Hello everybody, Suzanne Kellner-Zinck with Dunning Vision's Hypnosis. Continuing this journey with males with anorexics. One of the biggest issues that males have who have anorexia and bulimia is that it's really lonely. And the reason for this is that, well, it's more rare than those females who have eating disorders for sure, as well as the fact that most people do not understand that males could even have anorexia or bulimia, including the medical professionals themselves, and even worse, those who are mental health professionals, because there is no discernment in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, otherwise known as the DSM, that they use to diagnose eating disorders for males. In other words, you are dismissed as a population who could possibly have anorexia or bulimia, which makes it really difficult to get the help that you need. The other thing that makes it really hard is that many of you have muscle dysphoria, so you're working out all the time. So if you go to your general practitioner and ask for a referral to a treatment program, he's going to look at you kind of crazy because you look healthy. Now, you and I both know that just because you look healthy doesn't mean that you are healthy or feel healthy, especially in terms of where your mind is taking you in terms of feeling fat, self-loathing as a major theme in your thought processes, sadly, and the whole idea that nobody gets you. It's a huge problem. And that doesn't even include the shame that you may have by having a female disorder or even having an eating disorder in the first place. It's usually something that's hidden. The females do everything in their power to hide it, and so do the males. And you know this is true if you're one of them. So I totally understand the fact that it's a lonely endeavor, and it's a long course before many of you ever get your treatment, because there aren't really any treatment centers for men. And with the one video that I did see, he was the only person in that treatment center. They're all females, which makes it very lonely, of course. And then the other problem is that it's not something you want the whole world to know in any case. So the treatment that I provide, and I've been providing it for 17 years now quite successfully to teenagers and college-age kids, up to really the age of 26 for males and 25 for females, is based on hypnotic and neurolinguistic programming technique overlaid onto my 40 years plus in the medical field and my 30 years in psychiatric specifically. Because this is a physical illness as well as a mental illness. However, just so you know, I do not work with anybody who is underweight for their height, and I do a free consultation to make sure that it is a good match between myself, yourself, and your parents, if your parents are paying for the services. The other thing I want you to know is that because I don't do medical interventions per se, when you do go into a critical situation where you have gotten your weight so low, where you've been abusing your body so much with laxatives to the point where your fecal matter is actually oozing out your butt, and that does happen when they're overused, or where your weight is so low that your body is shutting down, they need to charge quite a lot of money because they have a medical staff, a psychiatric staff, and a nutritional staff there 24/7 for your services. They charge $80,000 a month, and I think some of them are $80,000 for the month of treatment, and then many of them have a partial outpatient program that goes for like another month, from what my clients have told me. Unfortunately, these programs don't work so well because they never deal with the direct causes to why you develop the problem in the first place, the purpose of why you're hanging on to it, because it's all subconscious, meaning in your unconscious mind. And these folks don't know how to work in your unconscious, subconscious mind. Mainly what my clients have told me is that in these programs, all they care about is the symptoms, getting rid of the symptoms. So that would mean stopping the over-exercising and getting you to eat more calories and to perhaps address the self-harming behaviors. However, this is an addiction, because any times you have compulsive thoughts leading to impulsive behaviors, which is normal for a person of this age group because the prefrontal cortex is not developed fully enough to stop the impulsive behavior. So when we have anyone who's an adult who believes that a teenager or college-age kid is supposed to act like an adult, they obviously don't understand the physiology of brain development. I put that on them, not on you. But I'm educating you so you understand why it is that you're doing what you're doing. So I have 4 sessions that have to do with letting go of the addictions aspect of eating disorders, on top of all of the clearing that we need to do as to why you caused the problem to begin in the first place, why you're holding on to it. And that includes forgiveness work for yourself and the people who harmed you, because it's generally why these problems develop in the first place, as well as appreciations for the people who loved you along the way. Too often, my anorexic and bulimic clients kind of forget about those folks, but we'll remember who they are going into your subconscious mind to find out who they are if you do not recall. Because it's important to understand that there were people there for you. And lastly, we help you to create really healthy boundaries, emotional boundaries, because the perfectionistic concepts that you have for yourself are way too high for yourself, as you well know, as you constantly beat yourself up for these imperfections that every human being has, including myself and yourself, and not allowing others to be, well, shall we say, imperfectly perfect. Loses a lot of friends for you along the way and causes a lot of distress in your relationships with your family members. I know because I've been doing this for 17 years with just the eating disorder, never mind all the other work that I've been doing for a lot longer than that, helping people with anxiety and major depression and other emotional issues that people come to me to release, including insomnia. I had an anesthesiologist, just a fun story, who had insomnia, and it was because that was his 3rd medical specialization, and his body just did not believe he would be sleeping through the night, so it didn't let him sleep through the night, because when they're doing the residencies, they're awakened at all hours of the night, doing 36-hour shifts. It's kind of ridiculous, but that's the way it is. So yes, our subconscious mind has all sorts of protections for us, many of which we have outlived the usefulness for, which is why hypnotism and neurolinguistic programming, along with understanding the nutrition that every single living being needs, including plants, in order to function normally and appropriately, is necessary for your health and your well-being. So as I said, my program is $20,000. It's 1/4 of that what you would pay to go inpatient. And hopefully you have never had to do that. And we don't want to see you go there if you've not gone there yet, because it's not fun and they don't work more than 5% of the time. That's the true stats, sorry, for the reasons I mentioned. So that's all I have for you for this video. As always, I thank you for watching. Until next time, bye-bye all.